Hello everybody and welcome to the wildcard weekend of the 2017 NFL season. I'm your host Cody P. Let's get down to what has happened recently. Last week I went 11-5 with a lot of unexpected teams winning games, a lot of upsets, and a lot of upset people. Now, before I go into my normal rage as usual, congratulations to Bills fans and to the Bills for ending your postseason drought, and now you're in the playoffs for the first time since 1999. Like, honestly, your last playoff game before this one, I was maybe 2 months old. Maybe. When you guys were last in the playoff, when your last playoff game was. But then you fell short to the Music City Miracle. What can you do? But with that, I end the regular season with a 175-81 record. So, major improvement from last time. And yes, as you can clearly see, I'm in the bathroom again. And as you can clearly tell from my voice, I'm still under the weather. Or still am now, whatever. And the salt of myself from my team losing, of course, just to cause major heartbreak to me, and just destroy me internally. And for now, I'm upset. But I must continue on with these videos. So, now that we're into playoffs, there's only going to be 4 games this week, next week, and then 2 and 1. I will give you guys the benefit of the doubt, and give you some against the spread picks and over-under picks, for me personally. Now, do you want to trust me with those picks? That's up to you. I got some other YouTubers listed down below who also do these kind of things, so maybe trust them more? I don't know. That is up to you. Their links are in the description below. Go ahead, take a look at. So we're going to get into the 4 games. We're going to go in order of how we're going to see them. So let us begin. We get the first one. The Tennessee Titans head to Kansas City. The Chiefs are 8-point favorites at home, and the total is 44.5. Now, for those who are wondering what I'm using, I am on the OddsSharks website, www.oddsharks.com. And that allows me to look at scores and how the internet is feeling with their picks. They have the Chiefs as 8-point favorites, and the total is at 44.5. Now, I'm going to break this down for you. Chiefs have been looking relatively decent. They started strong, had that middle down, where it's like, okay, and then they ended decently. And even Patrick Mahomes had to get in his one win on the road against the Denver team, who struggled all year. So there's that, and I'm sorry for any weird noises in this video, but just work with me here. Now, Kansas City, yes, they've had some high-scoring games recently, but overall, I don't really view them that much of a high-scoring team. I mean, I don't see them dropping 30s or even more than the 20s every now and then. I mean, I might be wrong, which not normally I am. Yeah, they had the 27 this week, and then last week, I don't even remember what they did. But there's that. And Tennessee, they're also known for being low scoring. I mean, they only put up 15 against the Jacksonville team, and then they were only in the 20s. Low 20s against the Niners. No, they played the Rams, which they were in 20s. So I'm only predicting Tennessee to maybe score 20 at most, maybe not much. And then Kansas City maybe just win by a field goal. But keep in mind the last time these two teams played, which was last year, it was also another low-scoring affair. So I would imagine it's also another low-scoring affair. So as far as the total goes, I would take the under, personally. A lot of people are conflicted. 52% want to take the over. I think the under is, I wouldn't say the more safer bet, but that's what I'm predicting. And 8 points, I honestly have Tennessee winning this game, personally, because Tennessee has beaten Kansas City in Arrowhead before, and I more or less trust the Titans more than I do the Chiefs. So, I'm taking the Titans straight up, Tennessee, plus 8, and the under the 44.5 points. A lot of people are taking Kansas City, so if you want to do that, that's up to you. I personally think Tennessee will win this game. But even if Tennessee loses, I think they'll KC will win by less than 8. So I would take the +8 anyway. Alrighty, second game we're going to look at. The Atlanta Falcons head to Los Angeles, where the Rams are 6-point favorites, and the total is 48.5. Now we look at two teams, high-powered offenses more or less. Atlanta led by last year's league MVP and Matt Ryan with Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Freeman, and Coleman. High-powered offense. LA Rams finally have their groove. Sean McVay has done a wonderful job for them, and now they're in the playoffs for the first time since, 2004. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams team, they've looked really good all year for the most part. They had that one stint in Minnesota, which was questionable. But other than that, for the most part, they've looked like a really good team. They're coming down the stretch, too. They had that 34-13 loss, something like that, to the Niners, but they benched their starters, so that explains why that happened. Now, as far as this is concerned, the Rams, they're high scoring, the Falcons are high scoring, that 48.5, I think can easily be broken. So, that's simple. And for 6 points, I do have the Rams winning this game in my predictions, personally, so, and, -6, I think the Rams could do enough. I mean, if you can go into Seattle and beat the Hawks, was it 42-7 at one point? Then I'm pretty sure you can take care of the Falcons. Yes, I think the Falcons are a better team than Seattle, but what are you going to do? So, take the Los Angeles Rams straight up, the LA Rams -6, and the over 48.5. People are actually really split. It's like a 50-50 right now on whether the -6 or the +6 happen. It could be a close game. It could not be, but I'll take my chances with the Rams winning by at least a touchdown. Third game, we have the Bills heading to Jacksonville. The Jags are 9-point favorites at home, and the total is a lower 39.5 points. Now, these are two teams who are primed on defense and running games. Their quarterbacks have a lot of questions. People are debating whether or not these quarterbacks will both be with their teams next year, or at the very least, their starting QBs. Blake Bortles, known for his turnovers, more or less. But Tyrod Taylor is a very conservative type of QB. You don't see him losing the ball that often. You don't see him taking a lot of shots either. More of a downgraded Alex Smith kind of guy. But, hey, what are you going to do? Now, Jacksonville, as of late, has struggled a little bit, especially when you're trying to get Blake Bortles to lead the team. Blake Bortles is not a leading quarterback. He is not that guy. Now you can take a look at the back in the past years where you don't need a good QB. You just need a manageable one and a great defense, which is what Jacksonville has. They have a great defense. Although they have stuttered a little bit, I mean, give them credit they get for limiting Tennessee to 15. But then, again, everyone has a bad games, and the Niners game just wasn't theirs. Let Jimmy G be Jimmy G. As for the Bills, more or less consider it a miracle that they got in. 9-7, although, is pretty impressive. I don't think anyone saw the Bills going 9-7. More or less even making the playoffs. But I think this game will relatively be close scoring. So the -9, that's way too much of a risk. If you want to go for the money, all you, but that seems like too much of a risk for me. And for 39, I hate going for low scoring totals like that, because you never know a 20-20 boom. Because I could see both teams more or less dropping 20, especially with Jacksonville's defense. They're more likely to get a defensive touchdown one way or another. And the Bills, they're conservative, so you might see a lot of field. This might be a very field goal-y game. But you know what? I think it's worth the risk. And I actually do think Jacksonville will win this game. So here's what you're going to take the Jaguars straight up, the Bills +9, and you're going to take the under 39.5 points total. It's a risk, but it may be worth it in the end. And now the final game, round 3, as some would like to say, is when Carolina heads to New Orleans. The Saints are 7-point favorites at home, and the total is a high-scoring 48 points. Now these are two teams who I believe in their previous two matchups, the Saints have won by 7 or more, and their totals have both surpassed the 48. So a lot of it is leaning towards the Saints winning by at least double digits and both surpassing 48 points, which I think is possible. We're talking about two high-powered offenses when they're good and healthy. Saints with Drew Brees. Drew Brees is perfect for is the QB you want leading you, especially in the playoffs since he has experience, and he's the only QB in the playoffs who's actually won a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan has not won one. Cam did not win one. And then your other three QBs have not really experienced much playoff. Nick Foles has a playoff game, but no. So you got that. Cam Newton, again, when he's having a good game, he's almost impossible to stop. But Carolina has struggled going against New Orleans early in the season and in the late. And New Orleans tends to beat them by double digits. They beat them by 10 last time they played in New Orleans, and then they beat them by a good lot of points in their first meeting they played. So I think it's worth the risk, and I definitely believe this will be a high-scoring game. I think good Cam Newton's going to show up because it is a playoff game, and he needs to show up if he wants his team to win. But you're going to have it this way. You're going to take the New Orleans Saints straight up. You're going to take the Saints -7. And you're going to take the over the 48. This game's also at a 50-50 on whether you want to take the -7 or +7. Again, these predictions are being made on the 4th, which I think is a Thursday. I'm still sick, so give a kid the benefit of the doubt. So, alright, we're going to do a recap quickly. We are taking I'm taking the Tennessee Titans straight up, +8, and under the 44.5. Taking the Los Angeles Rams straight up, the -6, and over the 48.5. We're taking the Jacksonville Jaguars straight up, the Bills +9, and under the 39.5. And you're taking the New Orleans Saints straight up, Saints -7, and over the 48 points. That is that. There's no more fantasy football going on, so you don't need to be updated on that. As far as Super Bowl matchups coming up, do I think any of these wildcard teams have a shot of upsetting someone? Keep an eye out for the Saints. I think they'll go pretty far, especially now the Eagles have to ride with Nick Foles instead of Carson Wentz. I don't trust Nick Foles to lead his team. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville got pretty far, because they've already proven to upset Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. And New England, I still think there's signs of vulnerability. And whether it's Pittsburgh or Jacksonville or whoever, I think there's a good chance New England does get eliminated. And there you have it. Those are your wildcard predictions. I'm still salty the Ravens lost, but I guess I'll just have to deal with it. Thank you all for watching. I shall see you all in the divisional round.